Live from our Kwacha studios in Blantyre, we bring you the latest edition of MBC News with me, Kumbukani Piri, and my sign language interpreter tonight is Towson Kamalata. Coming up. Second Vice President lays a foundation stone for the construction of a new mausoleum for the late Chakufwa Chihana. Greenbelt Authority under fire for allegations of mismanagement of resources. And the Malawi Under-19 cricket team continues to shine at the ICC Under-19 Women's World Cup qualifiers after beating Sierra Leone by 70 runs. Well, I'm glad you could join us. Our top story tonight, Second Vice President Enoch Kamzingeni Chihana has laid a foundation stone for the construction of a new mausoleum for the late Chakufwa Chihana at Kawiruwiru in Mzuzu. Chihana says the new mausoleum is a way of paying homage to his late father Chakufwa Chihana. Blessings Gondwe reports.
To ensure that late Chakufwa Chihana is resting at the dignified place, the Chihana family has embarked on construction of modern mausoleum for Chakufwa, who was the leader for Alliance for Democracy, AFOD. The second vice president, Enoch Kamzingeni Chihana, who is the son to late Chakufwa Chihana, said the mausoleum will have a tombstone, library, and a fence.
As a family, we thought it's the right time now to construct the mausoleum. In fact, it's the family and well-wishers who have come together to say, let us now start building the mausoleum. So today we invited the chiefs from Rumpi, Karonga, Mzimba and Katabe, and also the Synod of Livingstonia, because they are the ones who are located in this place for burial of late Chakufwa Chihana. So that's why we are here today. It's more or less a groundbreaking ceremony, but also a traditional ceremony for the chiefs, now to let the contractor start building the mausoleum.
Chakufwa, a fighter for multi-party democracy, was born in 1939 and died in the year 2006. He served as the second vice president under Dr. Bagiri Muluzi administration. Blessings Gondwe, MBC News, Mzuzu.
Minister of Local Government and Rural Development Ben Piri and Minister of Health and Sanitation Madalitso Baloyi have expressed satisfaction with hygiene adherence efforts in some public institutions in Lilongwe City. The two ministers made the statement after inspecting Lilongwe Main Market, Nsungwi Market in Area 25 and Area 25 Health Center. Mwaim Tumodzi reports.
The inspection tour by the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development Ben Piri and his Health and Sanitation counterpart Madalitso Baloyi began with the receipt of a donation of 40 waste bins by SS Company. Baloyi welcomed the donation and called on the private sector to support government and public institutions in adhering to President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika's executive order mandating all public institutions to maintain hygiene and sanitation at all times.
We are very grateful for the support today. As you know, we received an order here in Malawi, executive order from the President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika. That order just ensures that Malawi is clean. As you know, Malawi currently is battling with diseases like cholera, diseases like mpox and other preventable diseases, and we are saying if we can be clean, if we can make sure we are having safe water, if we can make sure we are managing our refuge and waste, then we will be able to beat these diseases.
Manager for SS Limited Company Jifundo Banda said the donation is part of the private sector support towards the President's executive order on hygiene and support in public places.
We thought it was wise and smart to partake in a sanitation project initiative that is given upon all the Malawians. As a private sector, we think we can make a difference, we can make a big change.
From Lilongwe Main Market to Nsungwi Market, the two ministers were impressed with the cleanliness efforts being undertaken in the facilities. Albert Zwao is chairperson for Nsungwi Market and asked for more resources and equipment to support the sanitation activities at the market.
Yeah, you know, we are able to clean the market, but now transportation of the waste from the departments to the main dumping site is the main problem. So if at all we can be given the tricycle so that you can be transporting all the waste from the departments to the main dumping site, that would be so much welcome.
On his part, Minister of Local Government and Rural Development Ben Piri assured people that the government will provide the necessary support to ensure that the executive order by the President is adhered to.
These are matters that we are going to work out on. As you know, it is an order that has just come. With my colleague Minister of Sanitation, we are meeting immediately after this to now look at whatever we can support them with. I must be quick to mention that we have seen organizations that have already started donating bins, i.e. the S that we had this morning. I have had calls this far from different banks that wants to do the same, and we are inviting all goodwill Malawians to join hands with us to make sure that Malawi is green again.
Recently, President Professor Athapita Muthalika issued an executive order mandating all public institutions to ensure that there is sanitation and hygiene. Mwaimtumodzi, MPC News, Lilongwe.
The Malawi Healthcare Support UK Mahicas has partnered with the Association of Obstetricians and Gynecologists of Malawi and Mwanza District Health Office to have a 6-week cervical cancer screening exercise. Speaking during a check handover ceremony for the initiative, projects lead for the association Malawi, Professor Louis Gadama, said they intend to reach out to about 20,000 women and girls in hard-to-reach areas of the district. We have a report.
Reports and studies indicate that a lot of women continue to die of cervical cancer in the country. According to experts, these deaths are preventable if women and girls get screening services early and regularly. A development, they say, will help early detection and treatment. To enhance the women and girls' access to such services, the Malawi Healthcare Support UK Mahicas has partnered with the Association of Obstetricians and Gynecologists of Malawi and Mwanza District Health Office to have a 6-week cervical cancer screening initiative. Speaking in Mwanza, the project's lead of the association, Dr. Louis Gadama, pointed out that early treatment is one of the key ways of saving lives, hence the intervention.
What we've embraced here, we are working with Mwanza District Hospital. So, as I said, I'm from Queen Elizabeth Central Hospital, but also from the Association of Obstetrician Gynecologists of Malawi. What we're going to do is we're going to support Mwanza in reaching hard-to-reach areas for screening. But also, we're not only screening for cervical cancer, but also offering other services that women of reproductive age group would need to have. From the projections, we're hoping that we'll be able to get at least in a minimum 20,000 women that would want to reach within the specified time that we'll be screening here in Mwanza.
In his remarks, coordinator for Mahicas, Lawrence Gogodas, said their organization is supporting the intervention with money amounting to about 22 million kwacha.
We realize that a lot of women are dying silent without even knowing where to get treatment. So we thought we can promote this project. Our aim is to reach all the districts because there are a lot of women who are dying with this cervical cancer. We expect a lot from this project, to be honest, because Mwanza as a border district, I think we can achieve more to get on this.
The Director for Health and Social Services for Mwanza District, Anthony Jafunya, described the campaign as crucial in enhancing screening and treating of cervical cancer among women and girls.
Well, we are very excited to begin with the coming in of Mahicas in collaboration with Queens is going to improve service delivery in as far as provision of service care is concerned, specifically for cervical cancer.
In 2021, Mahicas and other partners conducted a similar initiative in Chikwawa. Jeffrey Shinawa, MBC News, Mwanza.
The Parliamentary Cluster Committee on Agriculture, Irrigation and Natural Resources and Climate Change is recommending that the Green Belt Authority should only be allocated 2 billion kwacha for the other recurrent transaction ORT until it clarifies allegations of mismanagement of resources that are currently in the public domain. Member of Parliament for Rumpi West, Yona Mkandawire, who co-chaired the meeting, made the remarks when officials from the authority appeared before their cluster committee. Well, this is MPC News, a reminder of our top stories. Second Vice President lays a foundation stone for the construction of a new mausoleum for the late Chakufwa Chihana. Greenbelt Authority under fire for allegations of mismanagement of resources. And the Malawi Under-19 cricket team continues to shine at the ICC Under-19 Women's World Cup qualifiers after beating Sierra Leone by 70 runs. Now, the Anti-Corruption Bureau, ACB, has launched a surveillance vehicle which will strengthen its fight against corruption in Malawi. Speaking at the launch in Lilongwe, Acting Director General for the graft-busting body, Gabriel Chimbezi, said this is the first of its kind surveillance vehicle that will be used in combating crime in various corruption hotspots in government institutions. Zachitika has details in this report.
Chimbezi said the coming of the new unit is a game changer as it will help the graft-busting body in tracking and nab corrupt officials more effectively, boosting transparency and accountability in Malawi. He emphasized that the surveillance vehicle is a key tool in their mission to improve service delivery in cleaning up governance. Chimbezi said the organization is committed to come up with various innovative ways of dealing with corruption in Malawi.
The exercise is very important because we have been complaining for a long time that there is poor service delivery in our public institutions, whether it be in hospitals, at immigration, at the city district councils. So this exercise, this is a covert operation where we will be able, as I was saying in my speech, to go to a public institution, be there either for an hour or two. Once we are there, people will be able to know that ACB is here. And if there would be people who would have wished to be doing corrupt activities on that particular day, they would be deterred. At the same time, people who have issues, maybe those who want to report corruption, those who have been forced to pay bribes, they will be able to come to our vehicle and lodge complaints right there at the institution.
Chimbezi adds that it is the wish of the Bureau to have more vehicles for its smooth operations. He appealed for more support so that the body continues to serve Malawians better. The Anti-Corruption Bureau ACB in Malawi was established in 1998 under the Corrupt Practices Act to fight corruption, promote transparency, and uphold integrity in public office. Zachitika, MPC News, Lilongwe.
The Malawi Electoral Commission MEC says it is making progress in preparations for the upcoming by-election on the 17th of March. MEC's Commissioner Emmanuel Fabiano was speaking at the opening ceremony of the training for its presiding officers in Blantyre. Telson Magombo has a report.
The training is part of routine processes carried by the Commission in ensuring credible election. According to MEC Commissioner Emmanuel Fabiano, the exercise aims to remind officers of their roles and responsibilities.
We want to continue to improve the way we offer services with regard to elections, so that every election should be better than the previous election. And that's why we are conducting this training. Within the training, some of the issues that will be emphasized are not new, but there are also a few other things that will be mentioned for people to sharpen their skills and attention in the way that they manage the elections.
One of the participants, Nadine Kumba, added that every election is unique, hence need to be managed and executed to ensure its integrity.
As we will be actually managing the elections, we're supposed to manage the process in a manner that would actually give and provide confidence to the voters as well as also the public. So we know that having done the orientation or the training, that information, those skills, knowledge will be given to us and we will actually execute our duties properly.
The training centered on transmission and delivery of results and handling of electoral processes are being attended by presiding officers from various districts in the southern region. Telson Magombo, MPC News.
The Office of the Registrar of Political Parties has reiterated the need for candidates vying for the position of Councillor for Luinga Ward in Mzuzu in the forthcoming by-election to avoid giving handouts as stipulated in Section 41 of the Political Parties Act. Registrar of Political Parties Kizito Nkhani made the remarks at Luinga in Mzuzu during a meeting with various political party officials and other stakeholders aimed at educating them about the role of the Office of the Registrar of Political Parties. Chisomo Manda reports.
Registrar of Political Parties Kizito Nkhani pointed out that the handouts undermine fair competition and may also mislead voters. He further claimed that the funding behind handouts is often suspected to originate from corrupt activities.
So our office came to remind them about what the law says, especially this law that prohibits the giving of handouts. So we're here to try to explain what exactly handouts are, and also to tell the people what they can do if they see handouts, how can they report to our office.
The aspirant councillors from Luinga Ward have commended the Office of the Registrar of Political Parties for what they described as an eye-opening meeting.
We need to sanitize people, give them education so that they know the importance of not having this handout thing.
13 wards across the country are scheduled to hold by-elections. So far, about 2 cases involving handouts, both from Zomba, have been reported to the Office of the Registrar of Political Parties. Somomanda, MBC News, Mzuzu.
An charity organization, Faizan Global Relief Foundation, has donated food packs to 4,000 Muslim households taking part in the fasting month of Ramadan in Mangochi. Speaking during the distribution exercise at Makawa Primary School ground, Director of Public Relations and Communication for the organization, Ibrahim Omar Mataya, said the initiative aims to assist the Muslim families during the fasting period as part of fulfilling religious obligation. Sotin Dazi has compiled a report read by Dave Umar.
As Muslims across the country and around the world observe the holy month of Ramadan, a month devoted to fasting, prayer and spiritual renewal, an international charity organization, Faizan Global Relief Foundation, has called on the Muslim community to actively participate in charitable initiatives to help those in need. According to the organization, the period is considered a time of great spiritual significance where rewards of good deeds are multiplied. Speaking during a food distribution exercise in Mangochi, Director of Public Relations and Communication for the organization, Ibrahim Omar Mataya, said so far they have reached out to over 20,000 households and now are targeting to reach 100,000 families.
We encourage all the organizations and all the people, be from any religion, that whether it's the month of Ramadan or whether it's not, let us go out and help our brothers and sisters, because we know that not everybody is in the best position, not everybody is privileged. So if you've got a little something, let us come out to the ground, let us share one another. But in the month of Ramadan, sharing with one another is very important, and our religion of Islam tells you that you should increase your efforts of charity within the month of Ramadan.
One of the beneficiaries, Miriwadi Nifa, from Makawa village, commended the organization for the support.
I'm happy for receiving these food items. I will use them during this period of fasting.
So far, the exercise has reached the districts of Nsanje, Blantyre, Teolo, Zomba, Salima and Mangochi.
Finally, to sports. The Malawi Under-19 cricket team today continued its fine form at the ICC Under-19 Women's World Cup qualifiers after beating Sierra Leone by 70 runs. Today's win comes after the team beat Cameroon in its opening fixture on Sunday. The tournament is taking place in Entebbe, Uganda. Malawi's Angela Lumbe was voted player of the match. Up next for Malawi as the date against Mozambique on Wednesday before facing Kenya on Thursday. The best 2 nations among the 5 will book their place at the Africa qualifier, which will be staged in Tanzania later this year. Still in sports, the Boxing Federation of Malawi, BFMA, has launched a regional boxing league which is expected to run across the country. Launching the league at Bremati Multipurpose Hall in Lilongwe, Director of Operations in the Ministry of Sports, Justice Msopera, said the league will help to prepare athletes as they're getting set for the Commonwealth Games to be held in Glasgow, Scotland from the 23rd of July to the 2nd of August 2026. Paul Mlowoka has a report.
Msopera says the league has been the missing link in the fight for international belts in the boxing world. He believes that it will unearth hidden talents that will represent Malawi even at the Commonwealth Games ahead. Mpokera has since expressed the government's commitment towards the goal.
Particularly happy to see what the Boxing Federation has brought here. They have brought a league. This is the first time for me to hear about the league. The league will provide the boxers with more time to box and also the officials to check what they're doing, to assess the athletes, to teach them the best techniques in order to win.
Federation's Vice President Maxwell Tsitsi said the league will be played in regions and later teams that do well will meet at national level.
Today, within a short space of time, we have launched this league. It's a milestone to us, and we are grateful to a number of stakeholders, especially the government and Malawi Olympic Committee, who have made it possible that we should reach this far. We didn't expect such a huge crowd to patronize, bearing in mind that the boxers that we are featuring today, most of them are amateurs, and we only have one elite boxing or only one professional boxing.
During the launch, Malawian lightweight boxer Yohane Banda faced Jerome Betiti from Democratic Republic of Congo in the main bout, which ended on a draw after 8 rounds. Paul Mlowoka, MBC, Lilongwe.
Well, that item also concludes this edition of MBC News. A reminder of our top stories before we leave. Second Vice President lays a foundation stone for the construction of a new mausoleum for the late Chakufa Chihana. Greenbelt Authority under fire for allegations of mismanagement of resources. And the Malawi Under-19 cricket team continues to shine at the ICC Under-19 Women's World Cup qualifiers after beating Sierra Leone by 70 runs. Keep up to date with our news coverage on our digital pages by scanning the QR code at the top right corner of your TV screen. You've been with me, Kumbukani Piri, and my sign language interpreter tonight was Tauson Kamalata. Thanks for watching and goodbye.
Some things don't arrive. They've always been. Not for a day, for all of time. Until quietly something shifts. Moving from someday to now.